Okay, we're going to look at solving one-step equations with multiplication and divisions in this lesson using the application. My rules are still the same. I'm going to simplify, combine like terms, or move variables on one side. Again, this doesn't really apply with one-step or even two-step equations, but will become in handy later on. I'm going to determine the variable I need to isolate. I'm going to eliminate my terms by using the inverse or opposite operation. And if I do it to one side, an operation on one side, I'm going to have to do it to the other. I got to keep my scale balanced, and then I'm going to go back and check my work to make sure I have the right answer. So on this first problem here, I see that I have 7x equals negative 21. Okay, on my left I have 7x's. On the right I have negative 21. I want to go ahead and get x all by itself. That's the variable I want to isolate. So if I see if I can get this to work for me here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and start it over. No parentheses right now, no division. And my first term has a variable which is 7x. So I put 7x's on the left side. I don't have any more terms. My right side doesn't have parentheses or division, nor does it have a variable. And then I put negative 21 over here. And I guess it would help if I actually put 7x's on the left side. So one of the things with this is there's no back button, so if you make a mistake like I just did, you do have to start it over. Hopefully you'll get the hang of it before you get too far. Alright, back caught up again. And I'm going to put negative 21 here. Okay, click my green check. No more terms. Ready to start working. And my application tells me that, hey, in order to get rid of the 7 and x, there's no sign, that means multiply, so I'm going to have to divide. Now this 7's positive, so I want to divide by a positive number. So as soon as I press that, I see those numbers start to pop up at the bottom. And then as you go through, it's going to round it to the closest number. So 7 divided by 3 is 2.5, but it's going to round it down, or 2.3. So kind of going from there. And I'm going to go until the denominator there matches how many x's I have. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to complete the step. And I see that x is negative 3. So I'm going to go back through and check that. 7, no sign means multiply, times negative 3 equals negative 21. Again, if I use my mic dude here, 7 times 3 is 21. A positive and a negative makes a negative. Negative 21 is equal to negative 21. So my solution checks out. Again, this is one of the most important steps that you can do as you're solving equations, just due to the fact that if it checks out, you know you have the right answer. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Negative 3x equals negative 27. If I kind of look at my left and right side, I see that x is on the left. I want to isolate it. So I need to get rid of the negative 3. And I don't have any variables on my right side. So bring up my application again. Clear it out, start over. No parentheses, no division. Yes, I have a variable on my first term, negative 3x, shown by 3 rectangles there. No more terms on the left, no parentheses, no division on the right, no variable. And I go through and put 27 negatives on my right side. No more terms after that. ready to start working. Again, now I have negative x's, so I want to divide by a negative number. So I keep on pressing that until I have the same number in my denominator as I do in my numerator, or the number of x's, so negative 3x divided by negative 3. I'm done, and x is equal to 9. Again, I'm going to go through and check that out really quick. Negative 3 times a positive 9 equals negative 27. Positive times a negative leaves me with negative. So negative 27 is equal to negative 27, if I could write it right. Okay, so that's one-step problems that have multiplication to begin with, and I use the opposite division to solve it. Let's go ahead and take a look at problems that have division in them. So here I have x over 6 written like a fraction, which means x divided by 6 equals negative 3. I have 1x on my left. Dividing it into 6 pieces gives me negative 3 on my right. So let's see how the application does that. Again, I'm going to go through and start it over. No parentheses, but there is division this time. And it's going to ask you a few questions. Do I have a variable? Now you're just going to focus on the numerator. How many are up there? In this case, I only have 1x, so I just put 1 up there. Then it's going to ask me, are there any more terms? There are, but not that, no more x's, no more integers. So I'm going to click no, and now I'm ready to divide. And notice that you're going to start to see a fraction bar go over the top. Once I have 1x over 6, I click OK. Then it's going to ask me about the right side. And then I have x over 6 equals negative 3. So again, the application knows that I have to get rid of that denominator before I can figure out what x is. So I'm going to go through and I see that it's a positive 6. I'm dividing by 6. It's divided into 6 pieces. So I need to multiply by that same number. So I'm going to start multiplying here. So 1 doesn't do anything. As I hit 2, notice that it gets bigger on the left. I get an extra bar. And on the right, it did negative 3 times 2, which is negative 6. And the cool thing about this is you can keep on going until your bar is filled up. Once your fraction bar is full, that tells you you're done. And notice that I have 6 on the top, 6 on the bottom. And I'm going to click Complete Step. It's going to offer me to simplify and rearrange, which is just going to get rid of everything. I have 1x left, and then I have negative 18 on the right side. So let's go through and check that really quick. Negative 18 was my answer. X divided by 6 equals negative 3. A negative divided by a positive is still a negative. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So negative 3 is equal to negative 3, so my answer checks out. Okay, one more example here. This time x over negative 7 equals 2. So I'm taking x, I'm dividing it into a negative 7 pieces, and it gives me 2. So again, I pull up my application, click the green flag to start over. No parentheses, but there is division. So my first term does have a variable in my numerator, which is x. No more terms, because I'm dividing that x into pieces. So I divide it into 7 pieces. I'm done with that. My first right term does not have a variable. And my equation's built. No more terms. And again, I need to multiply. In this case, since it's negative already, I'm going to multiply by a negative. And I'm going to do the same thing until my fraction bar is full over my x's. So again, I'm multiplying by the denominator. So negative 7, I multiply each side by negative 7. Complete my step. I see that I canceled out my denominator underneath my x. Simplify and rearrange. And I see that x is equal to negative 14. One final step here is I'm going to check it. Negative 14 divided by negative 7 gives me a positive 2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 2 equals 2, so my answer checks out. Okay. And that's how you use the application with one-step equations with multiplication and division.